Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jelly Roll.
You know, two people that get hated the most is handsome people and fat people. You're handsome and I'm fat. We should really relate to each other. Getting the choke slam awesome theory.
Dude, that was sick.
It was so good. MGK and Megan Fox, I pull up on them. I'm like, do you want to ride? They just kept on walking.
And you mentioned that everyone hated you, and I don't know if you were joking or if you were serious.
I was dead serious.
So now everyone loves you, and I've had the opposite journey.
I also, man, between us, I don't know if I want to go that deep, but I still have to fight the like, do I want to get up some days? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
He got a haircut on the last episode.
Yo, just the episode before this?
Yeah.
Fire? I feel like I missed all the good. You got equity in the company. He got a.
It was a big episode, that
episode.
last episode.
He was talking about his kid. We talked about Moo Dang the hippo. You know who Moo Dang is?
Oh, dude, Moo Dang is a big deal, man.
Big deal. We also talked about death by nitrogen gas.
Really?
Yeah, euthanasia in America.
What are your thoughts? Let's kick this off the right way. What are your thoughts on euthanasia? Do you have your PR team with you? I can't. Yeah. So maybe
no, she just left. We're actually wide open. In fact, y'all can put this podcast out whenever you want to and make no edits.
Yes.
She's gone. The cat's away. The mice will play. Burn it down. Who you voting for, Mike? No, just kidding.
All right.
My favorite topic.
I'm tired, Jelly Roll.
No, I'm sure you are. You're a new dad.
The dad
dude.
thing is pretty tiring.
It's real.
They were right. Oh my gosh, I'm
real.
tired. Let me intro you.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jelly Roll.
It's me. I made it to Impulsive. I love the show. I've been watching y'all a long time. I'm like every other guy that has had a YouTube channel since YouTube started. So I'm a fan.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I want to say something to you right off the rip. We've crossed paths a couple times. Backstage, WWE, usually the big events, the PLEs. And we've always said what's up, but I've not actually sat down and got to have like any sort of real conversation with you. And a part of me feels like bad about that. Like I regret it because from what I hear, you're the best person on the planet.
Number one.
Is what they say.
He is a positive force of nature. I before this episode even starts, this is going to be one of the most important and amazing episodes that ever comes out. I'm just going to set the expectations right now because he is one of the most positive and amazing people that exists in this world. I have not met one person who knows this man that does not speak of him in the highest of nature. And that's got to make you feel good knowing that it wasn't probably always the case.
No, dude, I'm honored because anybody who knew me before like 5 years ago would only shit on me.
Yeah.
They would just be like, I hate that y'all love this guy. He's such a bad human. So it's like to work my way from that being the situation. Like when I used to walk into rooms, like it was instantly a downer. I felt the energy shift. Like dogs didn't like me, kids didn't like me, cats didn't like me. Like it was bad.
Cats don't like anyone.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And so yeah, for people to say, so that means a lot that people speak highly.
Do you think that was actually, because I can, a lot of the stuff that you're going to say today I can relate to, which is cool, which is why I'd love to be sitting down with you. Do you, and I know you were going on the WWE side, but
no, you don't.
You
don't know that because I wasn't.
Maybe
I wasn't.
Okay, fine. Do you still believe that ever? And have you learned whether or not that was actually true, or was that something that your mind was telling you?
Which that I wasn't gonna be nothing?
That when you walked in a room, people thought.
No. It was true. It was true, man. Because this is a true story. When I first got out of jail, we stopped at the closest gas station, which is kind of just a trend of like I want to go get whatever they have that I couldn't get. It's like freedom, right? A gas station is like the epitome of freedom when you're out of jail. You're like, I could get whatever. I don't even remember whatever candy they didn't have on commissary, you know. And I walked up, and this I swear it's a true story. I'm standing at the counter, and I've got like $6 to buy whatever soda I'm getting and something else and a pack of cigarettes. And this little girl, like maybe 2-year-old child, just comes and hugs my leg. Dog, I don't want to get emotional this early on the podcast, but when I tell you before that point, kids cried when I looked at them. Like dogs ran away from me. Like I was like, maybe it happened. I was like, maybe this shit that I'm telling myself that just happened in jail is really happening. Went home, I was with this chick. She had a dog. Dog loved me.
Damn.
Love me more. I mean, swear, ended up loving me more than her. It was like crazy. It's crazy. The cat loved me. It was fucking nuts. I'd wake up, the cat would be asleep on my face. It was totally different.
Did the little girl confuse you for her father?
No. I didn't look like nobody daddy. I can tell you that, dude.
So nobody looks like you?
No. At that time, I was 24 years old and I looked like I was finna steal something. I definitely let her.
What do you think it was about the time inside that? How long was that stint?
I did a couple years, 2.5, maybe 3 that time.
What do you think it was about that time that shifted your appeal to others?
Well, I had a woman pregnant whenever I was free. So she had the baby when I was born. So that was my daughter's. That was the birth of, great parallel.
Let's go.
Great parallel. So this was my first child story. I was incarcerated and they knocked on my cell door and told me that she was born. And I know it sounds crazy, but it was like a light switch happened in my head right then that I was like, and I think it was the pressure of that moment that caught me too. Cause you're like, I'm worth like $32 in potato chips and honey buns. That's like what my life is worth. And like 7 packets of paper, 3 pens, 6 pair of boxers, 5 t-shirts, 2 jumpsuits. That's all I owned. 1 outfit with like a $10 bill in the pocket that I'd had hidden in a watch pocket that the police didn't confiscate when they arrested me. That's all I had. And I was like, and I'm a father? And I just like felt guilt. And I felt shame my whole life and guilt, but never like this. And I was like, I got to figure this out. And I immediately, I went and got my GED while I was still in jail. I'd been in jail a year and some change at that point and had done nothing but play poker and get in trouble. And imagine how they felt in that jail when I woke up one day. It was like, I would like to go to the educational unit. And they was like, yeah, fucking right. We're going to bring you up. You've done nothing but cause us a problem. I'm like, please, sir, I'm a changed man. They're like, and I bet God came and seen you in your cell last night. I was like, he did. I have a kid. And I want to change. And so it's crazy.
Talk about a disparity or difference between two like ways of coming into that fatherhood.
But watch this, though. Same feeling.
He knows because I just iterated that on the last podcast. You don't understand until it happens. And I was trying to understand because everyone told me this is like your life doesn't start until now. And I felt like I had a life. Now I don't so much.
Yeah.
I've been saying fuck the next chapter. This is a new book.
That's it.
This is dad mode.
It's a complete shift.
Do you feel like you owe your life to your daughter because of the way she affected yours?
Oh, 100%, man. But what I know as a father is that we owe our life to our children anyways, but especially the way she affected mine. You know what I mean? But I can also tell you that the biggest curse we can give our children is an unlived life of our own. So always keep that in mind too while you're doing the balancing act of being super dad, but also being Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sometimes Clark Kent had to exist so Superman could.
Do you think she was the catalyst for the shift in you? It sounds like that was like the thing. And
it was for sure her.
Really?
100% her. It was like immediately like, okay, I got to start applying these things.
So then I'm also curious because what you're describing. Let's say what's her name?
Bailey.
Pre-Bailey and post-Bailey are like 2 different versions of yourself.
100%.
And just hearing you now, it sounds like the pre-Bailey version of yourself was resonating at like a low frequency and dare I say, negative aura.
12. But the speed gonna just pop out from behind the couch right now. He looked at you.
But it's like El Riz type shit. But that can be felt. That your energy is contagious. And was it as simple as flipping that switch where now like a random little girl is coming up and hugging your leg? Like it can be felt, is what I'm saying. It resonates. It can be felt by other people, like animals, dogs. You're mentioning.
Yeah.
And
I did a lot of work too. I describe it as a light switch moment, but man, it's been tons of work that went into that moment, right? Like that was the moment that made me go, I want to change.
Okay.
And but the work after that, boy, I mean, it was a barefoot race up a glass hill. You know what I mean? But
the number of analogies he's gonna have is gonna blow your mind.
Really?
He told me when I met him at SummerSlam for the first time, right? Is that what it was in Cleveland? He said, it used to be so bad I could walk it could be raining. It could be raining pussy, and I'd get hit by a pecker.
That's true too. That was my luck.
And
for the longest.
now I could run blindfolded into a forest and not run into a tree.
Yes, sir.
Because that's how much his life has changed. And see, the stuff, it takes me a second to reaccess it because of all the crack smoke in there.
That's real, no, but you recalled it.
For
That's
sure.
awesome.
But I think, listen, we'll talk about so many things today, but I think more than anything, you are an example of comeback.
Yeah.
And of redemption. And, you know, obviously that's something that I pride in myself a lot too. And hearing a story about having your child incarcerated to the average ear seems like a wild way to have a kid, but it's actually a story that probably happens quite often to a lot of people out there.
Oh yeah.
And I think that you've become a symbol and an icon to those people that they can achieve greatness. I mean, I look at the past week of your life. You're sitting here with us today. You did Saturday Night Live on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Insane.
Yes, sir.
You're on Fallon last night. You're touring every night, everywhere selling.
MSG the Friday before Saturday, sold out. Crazy, crazy week. I got a show tonight. I'm leaving here.
Could you ever? I don't even have to ask this. Could you ever have imagined?
No. Goodness, no. I've been joking about this all week long with people because somebody at Saturday Night Live said, "Was this your dream?" And I was like, who is so cocky that they dreamed they were going to be on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't brave enough to dream of being on Saturday Night Live. First, the idea that I could even do it didn't hit my radar until this year. You know, does that make sense? And then it was like, even if you'd have told me last January, you might do Saturday Night Live this fall, I'd be like, ha ha. You know what I mean? This year I was like, oh, really? This could be a thing, you know? So yeah, dude, I never even dreamed we were leaving Central Park. And I posted this somewhere. We were leaving Central Park going to Saturday Night Live. We had a police escort. I just played Global Citizen. And I'd done MSG the night before. And I was like, it was a moment where you're like, what's really happening right now? Like, this is different. This is not, this is not normal. This is not normal for us. So yeah, I've had the best weekend ever, dude. Thanks for bringing it up.
It sounds like a pretty great weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That
man.
is fucking awesome. And it's
so cool.
It's so crazy because like when I look at you and like I think probably most people like you fit. You're right where you belong, and I mean that. Like I think like when I see creators, artists kind of like pop up, and I'll definitely say like you popped up on everyone's radar like pretty recently. I was like, yeah, like I don't know. There's a familiarity that I felt, and to me it seems obvious that you're in this position that to you maybe wasn't so obvious at some points. Like you obviously have the talent, you have the look, you have the charisma and energy, but why didn't you see it?
I think I was still struggling to see past who I was, not who I am. I kept getting stuck in this like shame spiral of just not being able to find my way out of who I was. And there were so many things that I had to go through to start breaking those little patterns. Like I was thinking about it when we were following the police. I was like, even my relationship with law enforcement, it took a long time to like, I love police now. Like when I see them at my shows, like they hug me, I hug them. I started collecting their challenge coins. I think it's cool. I have a wall dedicated to it. I think it's so cool that they give me these challenge coins, and it's like, I was literally a decade, 14 years ago, I mean, I think I owned a fuck the police shirt. You know what I mean? It's like I was so against, I had to change so many I had to look at everything of life, Logan, differently, Bubba. I mean, a lot of people who haven't experienced that don't get it. I think that's one of our kinships is, I'm sure you were the same. Like, I can't look at, how I wiped my ass wrong. I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just did everything. I had to reassess it all.
It seems like a different life now.
It's a totally different world.
And he asked you about, or you were just speaking about like having trouble forgetting it.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, to tack on top of that. How do you practice making sure you fucking remember it? Because I'll have days where I get in a fight with my assistant in my $5 million house in the hills, and I'm like, man, fuck this day, bro.
Yeah.
And I get in my RSQ8R, $250,000 car, and I fucking speed down the street, and I forget that the last, exactly what you said 14 years ago, I was driving a 1996 Ford Escape to the gas station and putting $1.26 in the gas tank. Yeah. You remember putting fucking less than $2 in the gas tank? How shitty that felt, knowing that you were gonna have to try to figure out how to find another dollar to put in the gas tank to get to the methadone clinic.
This is even deeper than just $1.60. If you've ever been in a place in life where you put a certain number in the gas tank, you know what I mean? Like I remember the first symbol of success for me was the first time I swiped a debit card and was like, I'm gonna let that motherfucker go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember watching it the whole time, butt cheeks clenched a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Stomach still tilting. And I had a little money in the bank by then, but I was still like, ooh, it takes $80 to fill this drink up. Yeah. I would have never known. Yeah, I've only done 50 at a time. You know what I'm saying? So like those were the moments. And yeah, coming from those moments, you're right though, but something else I had to learn was identifying emotions. Because my first problem was, one, there is a space, like recentering yourself and your gratitude in that moment of like, why am I tripping out on my assistant? This is my life, this is unrealistic, right? Where it took me long enough to just go, what was the root of the problem, right? Because for me, it just always was anger. It didn't matter what it was. No matter what happened, it triggered an anger. And then I would ruminate in it and I would just get angrier. And I would just get madder and madder and I would fester and just spiral and it was just the never ending. So I still have those days where I have to re-anchor, but now I'm just more honest now and I wake up and be an asshole some mornings and then double back and be like, hey man, my bad.
I just did that. I just rectified this morning.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
sent a text
yeah,
message.
no, I have to do it all the time because what I've learned is I hate to go back to like cliche shit, but halt, hangry, angry, lonely, tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
we got a bunch of drug
I've never heard that.
Wait, we got a bunch of shit.
That's amazing.
yeah,
I'm tired.
yeah, that's big.
Halt, pause.
Halt.
Pause, bro. You're
That's
just
actually
tired.
that's awesome.
Halt. I'm just
That's
tired.
awesome.
You find yourself getting a little snappy or like not feeling something the right way, and you halt. Hold on, am I hangry? Am I hungry? Am I angry?
You keep combining.
Am I lonely? Yeah, am I lonely? Am I tired? You know what I mean? And I started like having just little things like that and just hit them like a lot of the time for me, it's tired. You know, my dude knows I'm a bear. If I'm super tired, but I also know that my food addiction kicks in when I'm the tiredest. When I'm the most tired is when I crave the most food. Is when I can't fill myself up. When I'm tired is when I want to go have a drink. When I want to do cocaine.
And
I'm my most vulnerable.
keeps you tired because when you try to sleep after you eat or you drink, your sleep suffers. So while you're digesting food, you're fucking your whole system up. So you're just got that downward spiral that you described earlier. That can happen pretty easily, and I think being aware of that for someone like you who's like, you know, you lived it is, I mean, that's so important because then you can stop it, you can halt.
That's it. I can halt. I can go, all right, what am I tripping about? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, admittedly, sometimes I should have halted 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be 3 days into a need of a halt.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You're in
Before
court.
I
You're
halt.
in court. And you're like, oh, they're like, it's too late.
It's
too
like,
late,
hold
bro.
on. I was just hungry and tired.
Well, especially this lifestyle you're living now, as you know, yeah, you're doing a lot.
This is so good, but already, this is what I hope this would be. Is
Bro,
real shit.
there's so
like,
much.
Ooh, I was like, yay.
I was going to ask you, you walked in with Miles
Yes.
at Cox because you've been talking about ongoing work. You've been talking, you said halt, getting in tune with your emotions. And I wanted to ask you how much of that is continuing to come in. I bring up Miles because I just went to onsite.
Yes,
in
life
Nashville.
changing.
Man, I had a real serendipitous journey there, bro. I told Miles about it, but some crazy shit happened on the way, and I'll give you the abridged version. But another singer from LA had told me about Onsite, which is this magical retreat in the hills north of Nashville, which works on addressing trauma, people that are hurt, which a lot of us are, all of us are. She told me about it. I put it in the bag for 2 weeks. I see you at SummerSlam. It came up in conversation. You said, brother, that place saved my life.
True story.
2 weeks after that, I bring up Carl Lentz. Pastor Carl Lentz, who we had on the show 4 years ago. I brought him up in conversation with my girlfriend. Not 1 hour after I brought him up, after not seeing him for 4 years, he appeared before me.
Whoa.
He appeared before me at the Rosewood in Montecito. I was having lunch with my girlfriend. I brought up Onsite to him. He said, brother, that place saved my life.
Actually?
Yep.
Verbatim.
Mm-hmm. He said, saved my marriage. He said, fixed a lot of things that I was working on.
True story.
I left that. I flew to Miami and went to a church called VU Church in Miami. Pastor Wilkerson sent him a message how great his sermon was, which was a sermon on healing and the importance of healing. Maybe you're not maybe you're not evil. Maybe you're just empty. And you need something to fill it up. You need Christ to fill it up. I sent him a message. I said, hey, your sermon was very powerful. I appreciate that. He said, how long are you in Miami for? I said, till Thursday. He said, oh, I'm cool. I'm going to Nashville on Thursday. I said, I'm going to Nashville on Thursday. What flight are you on? He said, 1:37 p.m. American. I said, what seat are you in?
No way.
2A, 2B. I was seated right next to him.
What?
On the way to onsite. In which I said to him, hey, I'm going to onsite. He said, I've heard great things about that place.
Yes.
It saved a lot of lives. Before I got off the plane to go to onsite and drive the hour from the airport to the place, he said a prayer for me. He's an incredible man, Pastor Wilkerson Jr. out of VU Church. So all of these serendipitous things led me to onsite, you being a part of it. And I had an incredible experience there. I got to do equine therapy with horses and learn how to be present in the moment, because horses don't allow you to be not present. There's a massive animal next to you who, if you daze, who knows?
That's a wildish animal, by the way. It's 100%. Just, let me tell you something about horses. They're all wild. Even the ones they're just tame. Doesn't mean they're not a wild horse. They have agreed to let you do this, but it's an agreement. It's not. That's what makes horses so special. So you also heard about their heart size too.
4 times the size of the human. Incredible.
Touching on that, kind of like this serendipitous nature of like signs, if you want to call it, like the universe speaking to you. Are you at all in touch with that kind of ether?
Yeah. What he was just saying, I was going to say that whole journey of his to me sounds like The Alchemist.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the idea that when he went all this way out of his way to find out what he really needed was behind him, he didn't hit a closed door on the way home. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that thing of like, when we're doing right, the universe conspires for us. I truly believe. I'm telling you, I hit nothing but brick walls my entire life. I have not ran into a closed door in 36 months.
God bless you, and I hope it stays that way. Because as someone who has had both, and you mentioned in the beginning of this podcast that everyone hated you, and I don't know if you were joking, if you were serious.
I was dead serious.
So now everyone loves you, and I've had the opposite journey. Everyone loved me, and now they hate me. But so
you've only gotten smarter, brother. That's it.
Yeah, which is so true, and I'm partially being facetious, but not, because the more I simply exist, the more people know about me, which gives them the opportunity to choose what they like or don't like. And I have had the ups and the downs, and the doors have been hitting me, dude. And also, I've been running through the fucking doors. Right. It goes both ways. So it's sort of a question, and like, it feels, I'm not going to give you advice because you already know this, man, but like, truly cherish the positive moments where there isn't a worry in the world and the world is blessing you, because there may be a day, as you know, where like you do have that feeling again of or whatever it is, impending dread, doom. Are you prepared for that? Are you just trying to stay positive about it? Are you aware that, because let's be real, Mr. Roll, gotta call you that.
Oh, I prefer Jelly, but I'll accept I'm on your podcast.
Let's be real, Jelly. Like, man, good things can be stripped from you in 1 second. And like, I've had it happen. How do you?
We have built-in defense mechanisms for that.
No, seriously.
By way of prison and drug addiction.
What, you guys?
Yeah, it's just they take away not to speak for you, but we've been in the gutter, like actually.
I know you don't want to go back because you know what it's like.
No, for sure. And also, like, man, make no mistake, shit's falling apart for me every day. When I say I haven't hit a closed door, I mean, it's just the faith. I'm just still walking in the right direction, knowing it's worth it. Shit, I get shit kicked in my face every day. That's part of it, right? And I'm honest with people to tell you that I wake up in the morning and I have to spend real time fighting a monster inside of me, Logan. A very dark one. Like, I have to wrestle this guy and really, really, really get into my prayer closet and my faith and my wife and communicate and be vulnerable. This is before I pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Like, I know that about me, because I know that if I don't, you know what I mean? I know the risk that I am to myself and other people. So it's like, trust me, it's just the way that I approach it. I know, listen, I'll give you the most recent example, but once again, how the universe still worked. My dream was not, my dream once they gave me Saturday Night Live, I was like, yo, a skit is going to mean as much to me as singing. Like, that's the big deal. That's the chance to show that I'm more than a singer. It could open up 1,000 other doors. This is the biggest program ever. This is Saturday Night fucking Live. We're there Friday, and they go, got you in a skit. Colin wrote it. I'm like, oh, it's a Colin skit. This is going to be fire. And we come in for dress rehearsals, and we shoot the skit. And you know how dress rehearsals are. I've never done Saturday Night Live, so I'm learning all this. Yep. Over for time. Skit gets cut. You know what I mean? You're just like,
That sucks.
But you're still like, man, fuck, I'm singing on Saturday Night Live. So you're just so like, whatever. Skit still went on YouTube. Still went up. Still got the virality I hoped it would. It's the only skit that got cut that made it on YouTube.
Sick.
That shows me I was seen. Lauren Michaels praised me for what I did in the skit. Colin thought I killed it.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even if the skit wouldn't have got seen, it was a small W for me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm just learning how to pivot and look at them different. It's also about how I started looking at things. I started looking at things through the lens of love, man. Sometimes you can run into the door and you just got to look at the door and go, where's the love at in this? And as long as I can find the love in it, I can take any shitty situation to figure it out.
You have haters?
Of course. Fuck, dude, I'm a fat dude. Watch the comments. It's finna happen. Yeah, I'm fat with a pretty wife. You think there ain't somebody in here right now? Do I have haters? Come, Bubba.
Well,
you know, two people that get hated the most is handsome people and fat people. You're handsome and I'm fat. We should really relate to each other.
Yo, let's collab.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell MGK all the time. I'm like, you're fashionable. I'm not. I'm fat and frumpy. You're tall and skinny and cute, and that's fucking how we connect. Because they hate you for that. They hate me for this.
You guys didn't always connect.
No. I was a hater.
Because you because he's fashionable.
Yeah.
But you guys are pretty inseparable nowadays.
Man, I love that guy, man. I love him, man. I love where his heart's at right now. I love that the world's getting to see his soul. I sat down with him earlier this year and had a conversation with him, and I was like, hey, man, I think that you haven't maybe executed telling your story the right way. I was like, I think you've allowed the art to do all the talking and the headlines. And the art's incredible, and we get it. But, you know, between the fashion and the headlines, it kind of, you know, I was like, if people knew your soul and the change you've had and the man you've become, I was like, I think the whole world would look at you, you know, different, as if you're not wildly successful anyways. And like y'all's pod, like how vulnerable, like how honest to see that in
like
him,
kind of,
you know?
hoping he would do when he came on, and he did. It's when you tell your story for the first time, I think it's. I would say I think he was a bit nervous.
I was going to say this. I still don't think the world has really seen Colson.
Yeah.
No.
Not the way we.
Well, he's just starting to chip the surface, though. He's just now getting comfortable enough sitting here and having long form conversations, because you've hung out with him like I have.
I love him.
He's the sweetest, funniest dude ever.
He's also goofy.
He's the goofiest. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. And you know what I think it is? I think the industry that he's in, like white hip hop artist, if you don't appear a little jaded and a little hard, I wonder if in his head, maybe that would, people's perception of him may change. And I think that I don't know. I don't want to speak for him.
And the hatred.
It's starting to happen. It's starting to happen though. You can feel the thing coming to, and there's also just a little bit of Cleveland in him.
For sure.
It's like a little bit of you. Y'all got a little fuck you in y'all. And that's just being from Cleveland. Yeah. I've been to Cleveland. That's how that's kind of the charming part of the city.
He's from actual Cleveland. I'll be honest, I'm from Westside, dude. It's a suburb. It's a suburb outside Cleveland. I just say Cleveland.
It's like Franklin, being from Franklin.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But still, it's like Cleveland people are like, you know, they're very prideful people, and they're very like, fuck you, we're from Cleveland kind of people.
It's fun to watch that come out of him. Like I'll be talking to him. Sweetheart, goofy, fun Colson, and then that hard side does come out.
Sure. No, 100%. It happens.
His fangs. Yeah, actual fangs.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he got them big babies too, dog. He got them chompers.
He said on our podcast that you still drive everywhere when you can. You're still personally driving yourself to the venue to, by the way, headline an event. Yeah. And you're parking your car. Yeah. Why not get a driver?
Man, I don't know. I'm from a place where I always drove myself. I don't know why I wouldn't. I think it's like, that's been the hardest part of like being successful, is things change that you're like, but why would this change? And some things have a really good reason. And when it really came down to having a driver, I just couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't really put a good reason of like, and like, I get in the car and it's my time. I listen to my demos, my music. I call my wife or my brothers. I'm a real family guy, and have private conversations. And I do the speakerphones because I'm a law-abiding citizen these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I just like it, man. It's cool. Kels is always joking. So it's funny because I pull up on Kels and it's like a movie on Grammy night. I'm like, hop in. And he's looking around like, huh? But he's just as weird as I am, because we're at Stagecoach this year. And listen, I'm pulling out of Stagecoach, and him and his girl and Baze and his two homies are walking down the main street of Stagecoach, trying to find where they parked. I was like, I pull up on him. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, nah, man, we're just trying to find where we're going. I was like, do you want to ride? This is MGK and Megan Fox, dude. He's like, no, we're straight. And she looks up, she's like, we're cool. And they just kept on walking. I turned around and I guess somebody came and picked them up by then, but I was like, how long were they all out there? He's like, I don't know, 15 minutes just fucking off.
Dude, that's why he's great. And that's probably why you guys get along. It's like there's still a semblance of normalcy given this extremely abnormal life that you guys are living.
Oh, for sure. That's
and you're lucky that I don't, that happened to me. I think I'm like, at least now, especially like relatively normal in real life because I'm a dad and stuff, because I've been humbled,
right?
Like really humbled. And I've taken that as an opportunity to like become a person again, which I like. And that's certainly why you and Colson, I think, are partial buddies.
Yeah. My heart hurts for guys like you and Kels for a little bit of this reason of, I was afforded the luxury of, because my hardships were an advantage in the aspect of, I was afforded the luxury of, I didn't have to do all my growing in front of everybody.
Oh, for sure.
Same with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, like we've had to really watch, like I've been watching Kels his whole career. I've been watching most of yours. Like I said, I started on YouTube. My first thing I ever uploaded song-wise, any platform, was on YouTube. I was a YouTube kid.
What year?
2000, my daughter's 16. So this was 15 years ago.
2009.
So bad, man.
Yeah. That's generation one.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm thinking 08, 09. I put it to you this way. I put up you're going to get this. A lot of people don't. And I'm going to pop quiz.
Let's go.
But the first thing I ever uploaded on YouTube was called the 10-minute freestyle. Can you guess why it was 10 minutes?
Probably had a max duration.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Nobody gets that. Back then, YouTube would only let a 10-minute and 17-second video go up.
Yeah.
We called it the 10-minute freestyle, but it was really 10 minutes and 17 seconds. We had a 25-minute one.
Did it just end?
Yeah, we just,
At 10, 17, it just
well,
stopped?
we were chopping it up, and at 10:17, it just hard out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so curious about your talent. Talent in general kind of makes me really curious because you very clearly have a God-given talent. Singers specifically, artists, you're born with your voice sounding a certain way that appeals to a lot of people. How I guess, without being a dickhead, with a talent like yours, how did you not become successful sooner?
Oh, I was in the right room with the wrong furniture. That was the problem. I was writing the right kind of songs. I was saying the right things. I've been consistent in my message and who I am for a decade now, right? This has been the better part of my last, especially 8 years since I got married. That really was the beginning of me like being like, I want to get together, because like real love will just have you like want to change things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I just couldn't. I just started, and I kept feeling it getting closer, and then the furniture started getting right. But I was always in the right room. I think it was Save Me was the beginning of it. I put a song on YouTube called Save Me that went pretty viral. And it was the first song where I was like a super slow 6/8 ballad of me just belting the struggles of pain. You know what I mean? Just like ass cheeks clenched, just screaming my soul out. And I'd never put a song out like that. And it just instantly went. And I was like, man, because this was the kind of songs I was writing and recording, but not putting on my albums. Yeah. I had like songs like this that I was just not putting out. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, all right, well, cool. People accept this kind of honest vulnerability. I'm in. So that's kind of where it was. It was crazy. I was just couldn't figure out the furniture.
Fair. How do you handle the fame?
I don't feel famous. Listen, when I was in Antioch, everybody knew me. I'm from a small neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody. I just run around and people say, hey, Jelly. It's nothing like, and equally, I've been blessed to have friends like Dwayne Johnson, who is famous. You know, I was blessed to work with guys like MGK and Eminem. They're famous. So when I look at me, I'm like, Luke Combs is famous. Jelly Roll is not famous. Garth Brooks, famous. Jelly Roll, not famous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all relative, right?
But, all right. When you look at it like that, if you're comparing yourself to Dwayne Johnson, none of us are famous. Right. But like, dude, you're obviously like super identifiable. You got face tats. You know, like my brother, for example, walks around big beard, tattoos. Like you know that's Jake Paul. It's hard to not see him. And similar with you, it's like you're very clearly like this entity. You're famous, brother. Yeah. You're famous, and I know you felt the life change. Like people approach you in the street, Jelly Roll, can I get a picture?
Yeah. But it's just like a bigger Antioch. It's just a bigger neighborhood. Everybody knows you now, but it's just a bigger neighborhood.
Because I think I've been blessed that the people that do speak to me make me feel that way. Like nobody comes up to me weird. They're always like, "What's up, Jelly?" It just makes me feel like I'm back home.
But it's because of who you are.
Yeah.
It's because you're real and authentic, and you talk about, dude. There's nothing more. Entertainment's entertainment. People love to watch Dwayne Johnson. They love to watch a movie. They love to, and he's got struggles. I'm not trying to discount those, but there's nothing more relatable to people that will make them want to come up and hug you more than knowing that you go through or went through the shit that they do.
Right.
That's the most beautiful. That's the best thing that I've taken out of this whole experience. Putting out the Fifth Vital, having people come up to me crying, be like, "Oh, I understand addiction. I understand heroin now. I understand why my mom took her life." Like all that shit. That's what gets me. It's not like, "Oh, I saw you made this joke or you worked with this person." You know what I'm saying? That authentic relatability is the most beautiful thing in the world. And like even sitting here with you, like a lot of the shit you're talking about is stuff I want to know more about. And there's people out there that want to know more about it. Like that monster that you fight every morning. Yeah. Who is he? What do you, and most importantly, what do you do? What does your morning look like? So that maybe they could replicate it.
Well, it starts with, I had to get away from the electronics in the morning. Like it was like, I got in this bad habit, and I don't know if y'all do it. Maybe y'all are already smarter than me, but I would wake straight up and grab my phone. 100%. And I tell you what, it's a gamble because there's very seldom great news on there, right? It's life kicking us in the face. And I don't know about y'all, but my phone, I go phoneless about 6 months a year because my phone is just a benevolence box. It's just people. It's just a request line, right? That's just it. So once I identified that, it's just people wanting stuff. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just how that works, right? So you know how it works, right? I'm not being fake here.
No, if someone wants something from me, they don't have my number.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it shouldn't be like that.
I'm working on that, but it's like I'm just still so compassionate, and I have a bad relationship with my phone. So I'm so bad with it. I either won't have one or overly have one. It's my addictive personality, anyways. It's like right now, I've lost 100 pounds this year because I'm just obsessed with getting my fucking weight and health together.
Wow, good for you.
You know what I mean? But equally, I'm also the flip side of that personality is I've had a year that I gained 100 pounds before. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm constantly fighting that. So sometimes in the morning, I wake up and just kind of get in my own head. Gratitude list early. First thing, you're probably very familiar with this process. Are you familiar with the gratitudes in the mornings?
I say gratitude prayers every night, but I'm not familiar with this.
I love a gratitude prayer though. I get it. So in the morning, like something about me writing still, because I guess a songwriter in me, I want to write stuff.
Yep.
So I'll still wake up and write like just basic, like, man, I'm grateful I woke up next to my wife this morning. You know what I mean? Like early in the morning, I'm sowing them seeds of gratitude. That's because if I don't, I might walk right out here, got a busy schedule, didn't get my stuff together. I didn't get my gratitude list in. I didn't get a cold plunge in. I didn't get to pray. I didn't get to spend a few minutes with myself. You know what I mean? I didn't get to hug on my dog. My dog makes me happy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like and then I find myself yelling at my guy. You know what I'm saying? Upset because he fumbled the ball on something small.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like so I try to get up and I kill that guy. And I also, man, between us, I don't know if I want to go that deep, but I still have to fight do I want to get up some days? You know what I mean? And it sucks because have purpose finally. I'm useful. I'm everything I ever prayed for. I've got financially security. I've got everything I ever wanted. And I still wake up some days and have to be like, I don't know.
I can relate to that for sure. And it's such a wild animal for people out there to understand that don't understand it. It's just such a paradox because you look at someone who's successful, got the wife, got the family, got the money, and wonder how is that not enough? I see it all the time with people talking about it on social media. Oh, you have depression? No, you don't. Go to the gym.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, eat better. I'm not saying those things aren't going to help you.
And they do.
They do. Get loved ones around you. Get a network.
Get a network. Get in the sun.
But bro.
I got to get out of bed to do that.
For
That's
sure.
what I tell people.
But
And then nobody's in there to pull me out of that bed. Nobody's in there to drag me to that gym. And I have to fight that dude. That's the dude I have to fight. Because that dude is scary. You know what I mean? That dude scares me. And that's the demon. That's the monster. But I've learned, I mean, I've been working towards fighting this dude for years. You know what I mean? And I'm winning a lot more than I've ever won. I'm kind of kicking his fucking ass. You know what I mean? I'm kicking his fucking ass. But you know what I mean? But I had to realize that this was a real thing in my life. You know what I mean?
Do you know how important, you know this, do you understand how important this conversation is?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's just such a, like, I'm so happy. I hate that you had to have this moment because I hate that you're going through pain. But this is just such a necessary moment. It's like something that I've always aspired to talk about too. Like that feeling of dread of not feeling okay, no matter how okay things seem around me. You know what I'm saying? That being okay and that being something that could be worked on.
Oh, yeah.
Question for you.
Or now, the idea of, you know, just fucking, now you got something, you're like, God, I don't want to fuck it up. That's a whole new problem. It's like, I never knew the pressure that would come with just being like, whoa, man, I have so many people that count on me not completely fucking and I don't know about y'all, I got a history of fucking shit up. I've got a long history of like really blowing shit.
I can't relate.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Can't relate.
It's like,
bro.
I've got a history of blowing it. You know what I mean?
That's going to be one of the hardest things. That's going to be one of the hardest things to give up. Your managers, you're going to be, unless you work on that. I'm 6 years in now, and every day feels like, bro, if I don't take this brand, if I don't do this deal today, if I don't do this show today, if I don't do this thing today, tomorrow it's over.
I see it in him.
Like, bro, that crackhead mentality that like, yo, I got to get my dose. Otherwise, yo, tomorrow this shit could all go down.
Yeah.
You got to put that thing away. And I've tried to get to a point where like, yo, the shit that I'm working on has strategic value and I'm doing real work, but that's that drug mentality.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of want to ask you about too. I did a roundtable yesterday with Bobby Kennedy in Philly.
Dope.
And a number of other people to talk about the rolling out of a strategy to get addicts back into the workforce, which I fucking love. We as a country are suffering from a GDP that isn't growing as fast as we need it to. And it's one of the reasons why we're not a competitive country right now. We've got, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of very good people who need to be reformed into us.
Right.
Or at least some version of us. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Into work. And these are great people. They're not fucking scumbags like they get labeled as. We're not scumbags. We're people who got lost along our way and are now finding our way.
For sure.
And I don't know about you, but one of the things that, I know it was your daughter, but for me, one of the things that gave me my first self-esteem to continue being clean after I got clean was getting a job.
Yeah.
And finding some self-esteem in a body that had never felt that shit before.
Tell him the job.
I was a dog walker.
Oh.
And I got that job.
It's actually kind of therapeutic,
it was
though.
the
It's
best
actually
thing
by default
I'm
a
about
great
to
job.
go back to that.
Yeah, right?
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're going to shoot a TV show about it, I'm sure, right?
Something like that. My older sister took a chance on me and introduced me to some people, and she took a real risk, bro, and brought me into a circle that I did not deserve to be in.
Right.
And I asked Bobby Kennedy yesterday, I said, how do we democratize what my older sister did for me? How do we get other business owners, other people to say, these are hard. You know how strong fucking addicts are. Yeah. If you're an addict and you're still working today and you're still here trying your best, bro, you're the strongest human on this planet, bro. Yeah. Because how much shit in this underworld that people don't even know about, bro. Do you know about it?
Oh yeah.
In that world it's in the shadows, bro. That grind, that daily grind of just trying to survive every fucking day. For years, I did it for 8+ years of just every day trying to just survive through the terrors, bro. You told me
it's all
shot at whatever, like everything, bro. Yeah, all the horrors.
Yeah, been through it all. My thing is too, though, is that it even expands past just like finding a way to give people purpose. What really changed my life was my daughter became purpose. And then music became purpose. And then as the music started helping people, because I was writing these just sultry, honest songs, the people were like, when people were seeing me in the streets, they wasn't going, hey man, I bump your shit. They were going, hey man, we listened to that song at my nephew's funeral. He overdosed. My cousin got shot, and we played this song at his overpass. You know what I mean? Like I was getting these like, I was like, then you start finding more purpose and moving in that. It's like anything for somebody is purpose. Like getting them a job, getting somebody on the right track, getting somebody a place that they can hobbies. God, man, I remember the weirdest thing too was, man, I had a problem too with my addiction whenever I just addiction swapped and went and put it all into this, like, oh, the business was all that mattered. And then when I'd have downtime, the demons were coming again. You know what I mean? It was like I was scared to go to sleep. That's where the ghosts were. So you know what I mean? It was that kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's this scene in did you watch Euphoria? The show? You gotta watch it, dude.
Really?
It's such an incredible show.
I have a teenage daughter, and I started to watch it, and it immediately disgusted me.
Okay, I hear you, but if you get a chance to watch it as an adult without and also,
well, I didn't watch it with her. I meant like just having a teenage daughter and realizing that this underworld they created was supposed to be kids between 14 and 19.
But the problem is, it is though. It's not this fictitious world.
No, it's not like that.
What do you mean? I lived in it.
No.
It's exactly that.
Is that true?
Yes, 100%, bro.
I don't want to completely.
No. You can't.
Crazy.
You can't
It's
sweep
a
it under
true
the
story.
rug.
It's happening in places.
Yeah.
Fair.
Anyways, regardless, there's a scene in Euphoria with the main with Zendaya's character Rue, who says the first time she did drugs was the first time that she felt safe in her own head. It's the only time she felt safe in her own head, and I got goose. I saw the scene and immediately got goosebumps, bro, because it brought me back to sniffing OxyContin and thinking to myself like, wow, like all that shit went away. You know what I'm saying? So, is that the reason why you use drugs?
I don't. I've always tried to track back what it was for me. I think it just was a cultural thing. Like my father was a drinker. Like I was in my late teens. I was in my early teens before I realized that vodka wasn't a sweetener. You know what I'm saying? If you watched a man pour it in a Stanley thermos every day, you would eventually just be like, this is sweet and love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't think about it in a bad way. And I love my father. He taught me more than anybody in my life. He's a great man, but he drank. You know what I mean? Especially he got a little more soberish later in life, but he was early, he drank. My mother did drugs. The neighbor did drugs. They smoked crack across the street. They smoked crack next door. They smoked crack at the top of the hill. They shot heroin. It was just happening everywhere. So for me, it was just like protocol. You're just like, you're 12 years old. It's no big deal. You're smoking weed. 13 years old. You're taking alcohol. You're stealing pills out of purses. You know what I mean?
That's why I say Euphoria is real.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I grew up in White Lake, Westlake.
Listen,
suburb outside of Cleveland.
I couldn't watch it because I don't know. One, I was afraid it would trigger me, and two, I was just like, I don't even want to. I can't even think about my daughter going to a high school that this could be happening. Which she doesn't, but maybe she does. I don't know.
But how do you?
know what I mean?
But it's like,
I know they're drinking beer and having bonfires.
I mean, we got started with Oxy. We got started with Oxys early. I mean, and it still happens. There's kids out there, 13, 14 years old, doing all kinds of shit.
Was that a product of your household though?
No, it wasn't.
So when did you start doing drugs?
When I was 16, I started using Oxys.
Okay.
I was introduced to them through pain because I had a lot of trauma, broken bones, splenectomies, a ton of ICU unit visits.
I have a song called She. I hate to cut you off, but in the song I wrote, it's talking about a young lady struggling with addiction. And it goes, nobody ever saw it coming because it started with a little pill.
Yeah, how crazy. Because, remember, there was a time when our parents did pills and pills were like, they weren't OxyContin, dude. Like, that was the other thing that happened
like
with me.
Valiums, like V-cut Valiums.
Not to discount that.
K-cuts and shit.
Exactly. But mine was also a product of location. The East Coast got eaten, bro.
Yeah.
Eaten by OxyContin, dude.
Yeah.
Vermont, Maine, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Like these states got West Virginia.
All the way down into Kentucky. It hit
Ohio.
Us. It was bad.
Decimated.
Ohio was bad.
Decimated by OxyContin. By one company and one pill with one brand name on it.
Have you watched all the TV
Dope
shows about
Sick, Painkiller, all of it.
All of them.
Dope Sick was fucking incredible.
So good.
The guy who led the round table yesterday was the guy that Michael Keaton's character was based on.
Really?
In Dope Sick.
Dope. God, I should have went. I couldn't buy it.
It was not. You got to come on the next one. I mean, Bobby Kennedy's got a good plan, but anyways, also on the round table yesterday was the coroner from one of the hardest hit areas in Pennsylvania, because as you know, as someone who speaks out on Congress, wow, what the fuck?
Thank you, Bubba.
To try to fend off fentanyl. The death rate, the overdose death rate is insane. Talk about a topic that is not being discussed. Every day we hear about Ukraine. We hear about Gaza. Major topics, obviously super important. A bunch of other topics that happen in the States. If the trend continues within the next, I think Bobby said it's like within the next year, the number of dead Americans from overdose since this epidemic began will surpass every American that has ever died in any war America has ever been fucking involved in. Ever. World War II, Vietnam, World War I, ever, bro. How often is this topic being talked about?
Dude, you heard my analogy when I went in front of Congress. Did you hear it, Logan?
I didn't.
It's a 737 plane a day.
Every day.
Oh, I did hear that.
Every
I didn't see
single day.
I didn't see it.
Every single day.
So
they make
300 people, right?
Quotes of it.
Anywhere between 227 and 300 people a day. So it's like, and I looked and I had that moment. So my sister was helping me do the research for that speech. And we were looking for like a comparison that would be the most jolting. You know what I mean? Of like, we were like comparing club sizes. You know how you're thinking about stuff? You're like, how am I going to present this in the most impactful way? And when I realized it was a plane, I was like, you're telling me that's like if a plane crashed in America every single day. How many days would it happen before they grounded every flight in America? What's your prediction? Just ask. Out of curiosity.
2.
Think it's 2?
Max.
I think it's 2 max. I think maybe 3 because they have to go. Are we sure that a plane's crashing every day? It's like it happened the last 3 days in a row. And I think they'd be like, ground them and figure out what the fuck's going on. At least that brand of plane. If it was a Delta, Delta's shutting down that day.
Yeah.
And it's like in our world, the way that we have dehumanized drug addicts and addiction is that America will literally step over their dead carcass and go, they made that decision. And I'm like, go watch Dope Sick. Talk to Mike, a kid that was a straight shooting kid that was broke 4 bones in his body at a tender age, and they gave him a pill. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's sickening.
I'm ignorant to this, and I'd like to ask a question that perhaps you guys could shed some light on. Is like, why is that being ignored? Like you testified in front of Congress, and so obviously, like at least the start of the conversation is being had. But like, why are we focused on such other, I don't know, petty shit rather than focusing on the traumatic stuff that's happening right here on our own soil?
Well, if we all came together to fix a problem, we wouldn't be fighting against each other, would we?
No, you're so right.
Yeah, it's not in any of our government's best interest for us to all agree that we need to fix something. You know what I mean? Because the day that happens, they've got a big problem. The day that it don't matter what the cause is, the day that America actually agrees this problem needs to be fixed and everybody agrees, our government is going to be in fear. That problem could be saving geese. You get the entire country agreed to fix that one problem, it's going to scare our government.
They don't want it.
They don't want it.
They don't want it.
That's why we have a 2-party system.
I say it all the time. It is the
you know
biggest
why they don't
problem that we have as a country is a 2-party system.
Do you know why they don't allow you to have competitive 2-person or 2-team sports in jail except basketball? Because they kill each other. Period. When you can't have because they know that if we put you in any sport that involves y'all going against each other, y'all are going to fight to the point that somebody's going to stab the other one in prison.
But we do it as a country.
This is it as a country.
It's got to be one of the most mind-boggling things to me, especially as you watch the inability of them to ever even find any kind of unison. Like it's like, and by the way, not only that, it's not a disagreement. It's a desire to always make the other party look bad. I liken it to a basketball game where both teams are playing against each other, neither of which are trying to score. Both are just trying to block each other's shots.
Yeah.
And the American public is in the audience just yelling. Ah!
I'm just over here like, yo, let's just, and I think that's a part of the problem. And also I think that we need to bring more light. I appreciate you being honest to go, hey man, I'm ignorant to this issue. It seems like this is a problem. Why don't we just fix it? That means a lot. Just more people like you being like, okay, I'm in tune now.
Well, Mike mentioned it earlier. Like, okay, I'll be honest. So first off, I really appreciate your vulnerability, and so does the viewer. The words that you've said today, just thus far, are going to really affect people's life, and like, as someone who it's an emotional day for me a little bit. As someone who just tries to be impactful, you know, like your story and your voice allows us to do that. I think in a way where, like, you know, our content, this content specifically, like, means something. It really means something. And Mike mentioned it earlier, like that demon you talk about that you fight, that I know he fights as well because he's my best friend, is not truly a struggle that I understand. And I have like failed to recognize like how hard that can be for some people just because of like how you're wired. You know, that's it. It's just, you know, you got some neurons in your brain that are either overfiring or not firing the right way. Some synapses are connected and mismatched, crisscross. Like, and I was not wired like that. And I'm so grateful for it. But I've had trouble in the past empathizing with people who are going through things that I can't relate to. I think that sentence that I just said is the feeling of a lot of Americans and of a lot of people who are in control, that allows, or where they're sort of enabling themselves to kind of turn the other direction. You know, they don't understand it. And so educating people and having these conversations is super important. But I think our country in general struggles with like an empathy problem. It's like an evolved emotion for a lot of people.
It's true.
And something I'm not trying to like hyper analyze you, but your story is obviously so like can really positively influence a lot of people. So I'm trying to like hear you and take things that people can enact in their lives to make a positive change. And you have a self-awareness, and self-awareness is a very attractive quality because like bare minimum you're aware of it.
Right.
And you know, and to try to make sure that car isn't going to crash, to be able to identify certain things about yourself and then put parameters in place that you know you need to put in place so you don't do X, Y, Z or regress to that person you don't want to be, like waking up in the morning and putting your phone away. That's an evolved person.
Right.
That's something that is so important for people to do in their lives. But I think a lot of people aren't willing to put in that work because it's hard.
It is work.
So hard.
For sure. It's weird.
It's hard.
It's always been weird to me too with the empathy thing is like.
It's a daily work too, by the way, Logan.
Yeah.
It's not just like the hard work is going through it, but still, I mean, it's a daily work.
Mm-hmm. What he was saying about empathy, and I agree with you 100%. I've always said is that empathy is a learned emotion. So it's not easy for people to just magically have it. I got empathy because I know what it's like to wait in line for methadone and when it's 26 degrees and I have a jacket and the person next to me doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I got empathy from being able to have a state's attorney when I went to court and having somebody do something nice to me because they had a good attorney. You know what I'm saying? Like those little trade-offs and passionate moments you have from living in that gutter for so long, it breeds it inside of you. The only reason I don't get it is because that some people don't understand the plight of addiction in the country and would turn the other cheek is their mom's addicted. Their son's addicted. The kid next door is addicted. Bro, substance abuse has touched fucking everybody, bro, in this country. So it's just surprising to me that people are still.
Well, I think that's the thing, but it's also a testament to his honesty is that's another thing too, is though that America has lost sight of taking the time to hear and care about what's happening with people. You know what I mean? And we just kind of automatically, and I also get it too, because dude, we're all fighting life, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I know what it's like to walk and be like, look, I'd like to stop and try to have an opinion about that, but life's fucking me as much as it's fucking him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so true.
You know what I mean?
It's so true.
It's like,
it's so true.
And there's that. And I think that we've also, because there was a time in life you only got news clippings in spurts. So you only seen the bad side of America at like 7 o'clock at night on the news or in that morning when you read your paper. Now it's like a nonstop funnel of all the fuckery that's happening all over the world all the time on every single feed we have.
Well, you know what it is? I mean, it's just shitty, but it's like it's innate in humans to be drawn towards negative stuff.
Right.
I think it's a defense mechanism. Our species sees things that are happening that are bad, and instinctively we go, I need to stay away from that. I know about it. Now I need to stay away from it.
Yeah.
This mugging happened in the street, and I see this video in 4K of a security camera, and it's horrible, and it affects me, and I'm scared.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't go out past 11 p.m. It's sort of instinctual. Like in many ways, you know, I always sit on this podcast and I'm like, well, everyone just is drawn to the negative headlines. Or you read headlines, like, but in the same token, it's like how we're wired. We're just like, we're animals. We're actually animals.
I love it when Joe Rogan says we're all a bunch of dumb apes.
He's right.
He's right down the middle, dude. It's fucking, it couldn't be more it.
Hey, but
it's all about love, though. My message mostly is that I think that whether you have any connection with any of that stuff, what you do have is you love people. And then that'll end up bringing you around to compassion and being more empathetic of those situations.
I hate everyone.
Asking and having it now starting to be that way.
I hate everybody. I don't hate everybody. But dude.
People are hateable. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm hateable. I mean, like, I get it. You know,
Do you hate you? I don't hate a single. There's not a single person I even.
It's not.
That you hate?
Yeah.
No, I truly have. I tell people all the time, anybody who don't like me anymore, it's one-sided.
Yeah,
You know
bro,
what I'm
is
saying?
that weird? Like, I just don't.
When I finally made it out of that shit and got free from it and broke those chains, I was just like, hey, I'm sorry to everybody I did wrong to. I hope you accept it, and if you don't, then I get it. But I am, it's like.
When's the last time you left a negative comment online?
Oh, dude, I've never. I missed that.
Not even
That's what
on
I'm trying to
MGK's
say,
post.
dude.
Yeah.
Not even on MGK's post back in the day.
No. I just wrote a song about it instead. I don't think I never could comment. I probably sent mean DMs instead.
Hey, it's important that people like you are leading the charge. And I'll throw myself into it as well for this topic. Prior to us, and I asked you about it before the show. I'm an imperfect addict.
Yeah.
I think any good addict would say they are too, but I mean it even less perfect. I do some stuff that people in the AA community might not love.
Yeah.
We talked about weed before. Mm-hmm. I love to gamble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love gambling.
I do some stuff that in the old school would be frowned upon.
Yeah.
But I feel like us being authentically us and being truthful about it and transparent about it is allowing us to talk to a much larger set of people through being the opposite of a guru. Right. I don't claim to be a guru on anything in this world besides cheeseburgers. But you are not a scientist or a mental health professional. You are a singer. You are a multifaceted, multi-talented performer who just so happens to want to help in a place that he used to exist in and continues to struggle in. Yeah. And I think that we are the evolution of the program that is going to help people.
For sure. First of all, I thank you for being so nice to me. I am a dumb songwriter that sings. Right? That is it. With nothing more, dude. I'm
sorry to
low-level
inflate your ego so much.
I'm a dumb songwriter and I sing. And I have so much respect for the sober community and the clean community 100%. That I don't even claim that community at all. As far as for me, I participate, I attend. I'm a friend of Bill's.
Billy Dubs.
You know what I mean? Yep. I'm a friend of Bill's, but I completely, when asked, I never claimed to be in the space because I have so much respect for their model.
Yep.
I just also know that my mindset, what worked for me is been more of a harm reduction and less of an abstinent model. But because I'll still smoke a little pot, a lot of pot. But frankly, if we're gonna be honest, it's a lot of reefer. But but I have came really far from it and through it. And my thing with everything, and this is what I'd like for the rest of the world to just maybe even open their hearts to, is that I believe there's space for multiple things to be true at once. Mm-hmm. I'm not married to just one school of thought about every single thing.
You're going to offend somebody if you're talking about nuance. Are you talking about nuance? You're going to offend. You're going to get into a gray area that people don't think should exist.
I know, God forbid. But it's like, I know that God forbid, we all meet in the middle.
No, don't say it.
There's no middle.
Don't say it. Get off the fence. Pick a side, buddy.
You fence rider.
Pick a side.
It's like, I'm creating a side is the way I like to look at it. I'm creating a side, and it's even like right now, somebody asked me, I was in the gym this morning at the the Lifetime Fitness somewhere
Yep.
down here in downtown. And I was just making sure anchored. I knew I had a big pod with y'all. First of all, I love the pod, huge fan, genuinely watch clips all the time.
Thank you.
Watching your evolution and your growth going from like, you know, just like a shithead YouTube kid into a man, into a father has been the way you've just gracefully dealt with things.
Thank you.
And when you're being a shithead, I know that it's all in the spirit of, you know, it's a work for you. It's
Show
not
me
a
shit,
shoot.
man. Come on.
You know what I'm
Let's go.
But it's yeah, for me. Sorry, what was I saying before that? I want to make sure
How
I
much
gave
you
this
love our
flowers.
podcast.
Yeah, I do love your podcast. That's where I got lost at. I was like, I want to make sure I'm getting flowers. But my sobriety journey is that my thing is that I think that same way about everything. It's like he was in the gym and he's kind of preaching at me and he's hey, I've heard you lost a lot of weight this year. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm telling you, I cut out seed oils, sugars, get rid of carbs. You know, he starts like, and he's like, this is what you like telling me what I need to do. And finally, at some point, I look up at him and go, man, that sounds like that's really been working good for you, man. I'm happy for you.
For you.
For you, because that's what's working for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating a potato for breakfast every day. And I'm losing the fuck out of weight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
really need, I didn't say that, but I'm thinking I don't need
Yeah.
you ingesting like, I don't even need that in my, you know what I mean? Like what's working for me right now is this, and this is cool. And when it quits working for me, I'll reassess.
I love, and just so you know, the thing that I'll take out of this, and it will continue to build on how much I've already been working on it. I love your confidence in saying that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I've been on this scene now for 6 years or 7 or whatever, and have had people say not so nice things about the way I run my program. And they're people that I respect and people that are well known and
You talking about me?
not at all. No, you've never. All you say is that I don't look good and stuff like
That
that.
was a
I know.
joke,
I'm just.
bro.
I'm
Come
just
on,
kidding.
I roast
But
my boy.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But certainly I've felt sometimes not as good as I could about the progress I've made because other people have said that it's not as much as it could be or should be, and I should cut out, quote unquote, cut out the seed oils.
Is it not crazy how much people have an opinion on what you should do, but they don't do anything?
Hey, I can relate to this.
Yeah.
What's happening right now with me being a parent, everyone has something to say.
They're telling you how you should father, and most of them are bad parents. They're telling you.
why is everyone wrong? Why are 5% of people on the right path? And by the way, maybe I'm wrong, but the point is, at least in parenting, working out, whatever, that's like none of this shit is a perfect science. Everyone's different. Like your intuition, your gut, your feeling, at least with parenting for me is like what's been guiding us. And it's 6 days in, it's working.
Yeah, right. It's like 6 days in, we're
It's almost
killing
a
it.
week. But that's
Do you have a night nurse? Did you get a night nurse? Or are you just accepting the trauma that's coming with that?
I tried. I fired her within an hour.
No,
Yeah, it was horrible.
really. The first time the baby cried, you just shot right in there, huh?
No, I realized like I don't want this anyone handling my child, and like because like bro, let's be honest, I'm in a privileged position where I can afford a night nurse, and that is a luxury, but at the same token, I care too much to be like hands off even at night, especially with my first child. Like I like being in the trenches at the moment, even though I'm tired. And I'm learning so much about parenthood. Like, bro, I'm on diaper duty. That's my job.
How's the wife doing?
She's a fucking hero. She's literally my hero.
Oh, great.
She's a champion, dude. Oh my God. I was just saying on the last episode, like what women go through.
Have y'all got a workflow at night yet? Or y'all just swapping on and off?
So we're kind of double teaming it right now, which isn't great for our sleep.
Yeah.
We will do the vice versa.
I know it's just still so special. Y'all are both rushing it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You'll get past that because this is going to last a little longer than you think it is.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little bit of a journey.
Can't wait.
the other day.
Can't wait.
He called me on day 3 and he's like, I think we've got it figured out.
No. Dude, that night, yo, Esme was up from legit like 1 to 5 a.m. And on hour like 3, I was like, ooh, this is gonna affect who I am. I need to sleep.
Halt, brother. Halt.
I was hungry. I was angry. I wasn't lonely.
But
That's
you
so-
were.
I don't know if I'll ever check
Okay,
lonely
ready?
behind
Hat.
So tired, but yeah, man, it's everyone likes to think they're an armchair expert.
Yeah.
Well, on that topic quickly, the only reason I bring that up is because the old school believes that there is a perfect science to recovery. which is one. And by the way,
my thing is this: are you proud of the progress that you've made?
bro, come on.
Then find confidence. That's what me and you
you're
were
right.
talking
No,
about
I
off
know.
camera. Was
I
like,
need to.
dog, I was fucking the shittiest human on earth.
Right.
If I am just smoking weed right now and that offends you, then fuck you anyways.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like respectfully,
Onsite taught me that.
fuck you, man. I changed my whole life, dude. If you knew, I would have choked you unconscious, fucking, and stole your wallet, fucking, at one point in my life, and stomped you on the way out the door. And now I'm just smoking pot. You're like, hey, everybody, like, fuck you. I'm killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's God.
He has the same story. He was. You say you were the shittiest person on the planet. I bet Mike circa 2010 would have given you a run.
No, until earlier than that. 2010, I was coming back around. Well, I mean, we both.
But I want to tell you something that might help you with this. And I wasn't never going to share this on a podcast again because I didn't want to have to circle back into this. But I love you enough to share this and hope it'll help you. I was with Flagrant the first time I did Schultz and them podcasts. Now, Schultz and me are really, really, really good friends. And we were talking about my relationship with the church because I have a cross on my face. I'm a man of faith. I'm very public about it. Smoke weed. I also do a lot of things that don't look godly, right? And I just told him how I felt about the church on that podcast. I won't reshare those feelings here. They're online. You can go look them up. And I just said, but I love God, and this is how I feel about the church. And man, did every pastor, it felt like in America the next Sunday, rake me across the coals. But I had 3 of the biggest pastors in the world reach out to me and go, that was the bravest act of Christianity we've ever seen, was you going to do that. And you know what I realized in that moment, man? Man, what God's got for me, he's sending, baby. I don't know what, if them other dudes didn't come, they wasn't for me, and that's fine. God put me where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. That is my request. Put me where I belong. You know what I'm saying? Man, if I don't give you no more freedom, because it hurt my feelings, Mike. That first Sunday, I was like, man, I thought Jesus would be proud of the way I carried that conversation. And these dudes are just like, this Jelly Roll is the devil. They were like Southern Baptists, like, if you listen to Jelly Roll, you're going to hell. You know, and I'm just like, golly. You know, I was like, Jesus Christ. And he's going to listen to I Believe I Can Fly on the way out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm the bad guy, you know? But so just know that, man. Don't worry, man. That shit is like, it ended up working out in my favor because I ended up actually getting closer to God after that.
Yeah,
I picked up my Bible for the first time in a decade after that conversation. I started allowing a pastor to pour into me for the first time after a decade. Like it was a breakthrough for me. So on the other side of all that pain and all that pissiness I felt, and the fact that there's still on average like 20 or 50 churches a Sunday that talk about me in a bad way, that's just part of it. Dude.
Sounds like Waterboy, the movie Waterboy.
Yeah.
Foosball's the devil, Bobby.
Yeah,
they got your picture on the picture on the wall in the church. Like, this is Satan right here.
And the other guys were like most mega church, I mean, most big pastors and a lot of authors hit me up and was like, man, that was accurate. You didn't tell a lie. The church just don't know how to deal with the truth.
I'm a little confused how like sometimes with certain sects of religion, sects SECTS, can't agree on their own like teachings. Like something that confused me. We had Cliff and Stuart Connectley on the podcast, and I asked them about evolution, right? And they were like, yes, scientific evolution, yeah. And when they said that, I was actually surprised because most Christians I know seem to not believe in evolution, and these guys who are like really knowledgeable and like devout, you know, good dudes who practice their craft and are the best at it, said the opposite of what I thought like traditional belief was. You know, these are two guys that are revered by Christians and Catholics. I don't want to mess up which is which and the denominations that look up to them, but they posted the clip on their Instagram as well as saying it on the podcast. And you know, when I saw it, I was surprised because they were speaking directly to an audience that a lot of them don't agree with their opinion. And sure enough, in the comments, people reaming them for saying that evolution is a thing. And similar to this like black and white conversation where like nuance is important and that gray area is you got to be comfortable like navigating there and acknowledging that it exists. But with religion in particular, there's just like a lot of that. Like it's like almost like, I mean, maybe a shitty comparison as well. Like parenting, like there's like an imperfect science, and I think there's like an intuition that I don't know, like follow the teachings that make you feel the best, the most fulfilled, and that make you feel like you are having that conversation with God.
Yeah,
and
for sure, whatever works for you.
Yeah, man, like
whatever gets you in touch with a higher plane. So whatever gets you outside, because there's a lot of it to me is just getting outside of yourself, just admitting that there is something greater than you. If not, we're stuck in a real narcissistic loop by default.
Nihilist.
You know what I mean? It gets real murky waters there, and it's like. But my deal is, first of all, nobody hated religion more than Jesus.
Really?
Period. No, absolutely not. No, not a figure ever in history has hated religion more than Jesus did.
Why?
He thought it was just a complete kind of a sham. He thought they had turned the temple into a merchant. They thought it was more of a money gag than it was. I'm not telling you nothing the Bible don't say about Jesus, for the record. Go do your own research, come up with your own ideals, and that's what I did. I read the same book everybody else read. Maybe they read it different. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying.
No, but that's possible.
That's
possible.
That's real too, and you know what? That's fine too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I tell people all the time, Cool Runnings is one of my favorite movies. And they're like, wow. It's like, because I think it's one of the greatest stories ever told. Because sometimes you can do everything right and the bobsled still breaks. Nobody else seen that though, right? Everybody else thought it was a movie about a bunch of guys that shouldn't have been on a mountain in the first place. And to me, the real magic happened after they were off the mountain.
Yeah.
It wasn't getting to the mountain that was the magic. They thought it was a story of triumph and overcoming. I said the story was the bobsled broke. They fucking were killing it. You know what I'm saying? It's, but
I got to rewatch it. That's such a classic, dude.
Dude, it's one of the greatest movies ever. It's in my top 5 for real.
I haven't watched it. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's well, no. He's
they're gonna line them on fire.
Give me the other 4 in the top 5
Listen,
if you have them, or at least 3 more.
A Beautiful Mind. A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. Stop for 1 second on each one. That movie's fucking amazing.
Insane.
I
think Russell Crowe's greatest performance ever.
Yeah, but it's
and when he did the Cinderella Man, I thought
Cinderella
his
great.
too.
Yeah. A Beautiful Mind is painful. It's a painful watch. It is so emotional when you start to realize what had been happening the entire time when you thought something else was happening. Insane. What else?
Big Fish.
Okay, yeah, it's a great one.
Big Fish is one of the greatest movies ever. I don't care who you are. It is so awesome. Big Fish is great.
Yep.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
It's another one of my
Perfect
top.
movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, just watching it now makes me upset because of Robin Williams.
Yeah. Greatest monologue in movie history.
Yeah. When he's sitting by the lake.
When they're sitting by the lake and he starts.
Incredible.
Name another one better. Name
Nothing.
another movie monologue better. It's unfucking real.
Did it? Most of that monologue was one take.
Yeah. Steel Magnolias is my 5th one, by the way.
A great movie as well.
Yep.
Do you want mine?
Yeah.
They're all boy movies.
Oh, dude.
That sucks because none of mine are. I guess I could put Good Will Hunting in there if we want one emotional, like meaningful movie. No Country for Old Men.
The Fire.
Incredible.
So
Sicario.
Dude, never even seen it. I ain't gonna lie.
Brother.
I'll make a note. I was grabbing for my phone.
Please watch that movie. Fight Club. We have no great war. Our great war is a spiritual war. And then I'll probably say, I'll fucking piss Logan off and say probably Inception. Inception or Departed.
I love Inception.
Well, no, but you love Interstellar more, and me not having it on there probably upsets you.
No. Well, it's your list.
His number one is Interstellar.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and
I think
Prestige.
so.
What's your other 4?
I like The Prestige. I love The Greatest Showman.
Oh, The Greatest Showman. That's a good one. That'd be my probably top 10.
That's a good one. Yeah, I can relate to the story, and I love musicals. The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey.
It's a great movie.
Was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I loved the show as well. I think it was on Netflix. And then this is like maybe the top 10er for me, but it just popped up on Netflix and I loved it. Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Oh, Tom Cruise, yeah.
I like action, you know.
Yeah. Should I send you this list I have?
Please. He's got a whole list.
It's called my movies grand list.
No,
I mean, dude, like
I'm a guy I'm a weird dude that has a top 5 in everything. I have a top 5 movies, shows.
Yeah.
But how do you
songs.
like even fit them? Like Zero Dark 30, Children of Men, 1917, Running Scared, Saving Private Ryan is one. Rock and Roll, a great British film, The Godfather, Eastern Promises, Man on Fire, Smoking Aces, Casino, Jason Bourne, Pulp Fiction.
I watched Casino on the bus the other night, just on some we were up at 4 a.m. So fire, just as fire. Sometimes you go back and watch them 90s movies and you're like, is it going to hold? Because technology, and sometimes they don't hold. It doesn't. And then sometimes they kill.
Casino does. I still hate Joe Pesci for what he did, bro. He ended up being such a shit.
That was bad.
What's one movie that you don't want to watch again? Because I wonder if you can relate on a movie called Requiem for a Dream.
Never seen it.
Maybe try to watch it.
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure if I want you to watch that.
Really?
Yeah. Darren Aronofsky, absolute fucking classic. It's a very
Send it to me. I'd love to watch it.
It's a disturbing film about drugs.
Ooh.
It is fucked, dude. Marlon Wayans, Jared Leto, Jennifer Lawrence. No, not Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer
Aniston.
Jennifer Garner.
Coolidge.
It's one of the Jennifers.
Jennifers.
But it's an insane movie about heroin and just it's dark.
I'll watch it. Send it to me. I like more emotional stuff. I'll watch some dark shit.
Brother, they call it the one movie you swore you'd never watch again.
It took me over a decade of being out of jail before I would watch jail shows.
Nobody said Shawshank.
No, it was just one.
Oh my God.
But even then, I wouldn't watch it when I got out. I didn't watch it for like a decade. Wow. I was like, my wife would be like, she would get into she loves murder mystery stuff. And she'd turn on First 48 and I'd flip out when we first got together. I was like, yo.
It's a great show.
I was like, no. And she was talking to me the other day. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, watching First 48. And she like, really? I was like, I've been watching to go to sleep lately.
Wow.
Because I've been, whatever. And she was like, man, that's such a sign of your healing. She was like, when I first got with you 9 years ago, she was like, you would like yell at me if I walked in the room. I was like, turn that shit off. Like immediately would get like weird. And now I'm like, yeah, watch it every night.
It's funny you say that because I read a news report the other day that watching crime shows is one sign of potentially of a psychopath.
Yeah, right. Fuck that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know what you're talking about.
Did you see
of
the
course
article?
I saw it, but like,
it was
bro,
a lie,
like who?
Is your girl into true crime?
What's that?
Is your girl into true crime?
Every girl.
Yeah, we watch, of course. Dude, we watch.
That's
I go
all
to sleep
Bunny
watching
watches
Forensic
when I go
Files, which
every girl's into true crime.
For sure.
Do you know that show,
Top 5
Forensic
Podcast
Files?
is a true crime podcast.
Yeah,
like
no,
3 of them.
100%. Yeah. No, Bunny does it, and when she does her podcast in October, she does like a horror theme every week with it, like either a murder mystery or something that caught her eye, and she'll do a whole pod on it. And she dresses up for every day of the month of Halloween.
Oh, she's a Halloween lover?
Yeah, she'll start posting her Halloween pictures today for the next 31 days. Yeah. Every day will be a different Halloween.
How long you guys been together for now?
We've been together 8 years.
8 years.
We've been married 8 years, eight and some change.
And how did you meet?
At a bar. The old-fashioned way, baby.
Classic.
Yeah.
Where?
So like it happened in the movies.
In
Las Vegas Country Saloon.
Amazing.
Whoa.
True story. I was doing a show. It was a soft ticket show. So we were like doing some of our songs and covers and just, we're just doing a bar circuit. And she was there and we bumped into each other at the bar. I was going to grab a drink. She was going to grab a drink. I knew she had Xanax. I asked her for one. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's like, that girl's got Xanax. And I was just immediately like,
She just looked like an angel.
Fucking the old South Nashville mating call. Shake a bottle of pills and I'll run.
Funny.
Hey.
What does she think of all the craziness?
Oh, dude, she's actually been my biggest supporter in all of it, of course, man. We talk about it. We foxhole up, though, man. It goes back to little things in your life that change. When I was in the streets, it was like no pillow talking. Like you never talk to a girl about your business.
Because
You
what
know
do you
what I
think
mean?
they're going to do when you break up?
Yeah, for sure. Now I don't do nothing but pillow talk. That's all. I look forward to my pillow talk.
Yeah,
I'm
100%.
waiting for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the end of the day. I can unload. I'm like a girl. I just like pull my hair back. I'm like, this is how it happened. And Dave was a dickhead. And like she's really been my anchor, man.
That's awesome.
Well, also,
truly
she's not going to get called in as a witness to a felony indictment anytime soon, so you can tell her everything.
We also quit committing felonies.
Yeah, that's
another reason
what
I don't worry
that's
about
what
it.
I'm saying.
We did commit some together early in our relationship. We were both pretty wild when we first got together. Yeah. Man. She's sweet. She's sweet, man.
I have to ask you about WWE.
Please.
They say you love it.
Love.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like truly a fan. And I think the storytelling right now is like Probably the best it's been in a long time.
I was going to ask
probably
you
since
about the
like
product.
I think it's the best it's been since the Cena era.
Yeah.
And to see Cena coming back around,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like, and I think before that it was, you know, I mean, it was the Attitude Era almost. So it's like I think that we're seeing, I would say wrestling's bigger than it's ever been right now.
Totally.
So it's really fun. And they are finding a way at the WWE to serve two masters. And they're serving that they are keeping people engaged every single week, and they're keeping it fast because the times need fast stories.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also allowing bigger stories to develop over longer periods of time. Like watching the bloodline develop over 36 months.
Oh my God.
For taking 3 WrestleManias for Cody to finish his story.
Yeah.
Like, but they kept us so engaged that we almost had forgot that we had been watching these big storylines play out.
sure.
Because they were giving us the little fast nuggets that we needed for Instagram and TikTok too. So I think they're doing the best they've ever done, man. I think the talent's higher than it's ever been. I'm admittedly, because I'm an older guy, as a dude that like didn't tune into it around the Cena time, it got really live again. You're like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, I started feeling the writing was changing. I was seeing it more, and I knew that Roman was Roman. You know what I mean?
You did.
Like you could feel it. Yeah. I mean, it felt early that he was going to be a version of The Rock. That he was going to be some generation's version of The Rock.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's kids out there that look at him like I looked at The Rock.
Yep. For
Like
sure.
when 1998, when he's at 96, when he's at Municipal Auditorium and him and Stone Cold are doing WWE Monday Night Raw, and I'm up in the nosebleed section with my brother, I knew that kids were feeling that way about Roman.
You did that?
That's a true story.
Have you told Dwayne
story.
that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Told DJ this. I mean, true story. So it's like going from that, because, you know, I was a South Nashville kid. We go to the wrestling fairgrounds. We go to the underground. We'd go to the backyard ECW shits. Like, we were like super white trash.
Okay, so can I? Okay, so that's amazing. That's amazing. What about people who like maybe aren't fans of wrestling because they think, you know, what they think?
Yeah.
Like how do you describe it to people who don't understand like what they're watching? Because I admittedly, like I was one of those people at some point.
Yeah. You're watching one real incredible storytelling. Like, and it's also wholesome. Like, I know there's times it gets a little wild, but that's what makes it even more wholesome when it comes back around, because it's always going to come back around. And I'm also into it because I'm an entertainer. Yeah. I'm a showman, right? Yeah. Like, I just, I'll give you an example. When are y'all dropping this?
You got a little bit.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So I do. So that's all I'm going to say. I do something in my show, because I don't want to burn this for the people that might watch it, might be coming to my tour. Even though most of your people are like, "Who the fuck is this fat dude anyway?"
No, they're gonna come now. They're coming now.
Right now,
yeah, please come.
They're here to watch because it's you. Please. They're asking who we are.
But I took something from a Roman thing, I'll tell you off camera, that I put in my show.
Cool.
I'm that much of a fan of stuff that, like, when I watch things, I'm like, there's a quote in the entertainment business. You're gonna love this because I've watched your pod for years. It says the good ones will borrow, but the great ones will steal.
Steal like an artist.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like I stole something straight from Roman. Like, this is it. So yeah, I started tuning back in, and then I thought you were great for it because you brought a whole new eyes in, and brought athleticism, and you mind me? I know. You mind me like telling a story? If you can cut this for a fucking podcast, you can cut it.
Nah, we'll actually allow it, man. I think we do. Hold on, let's check.
Well, it's about him.
Is that cool?
No. It's about Logan. I don't want Logan to like. I don't know if this is something he don't want people to know.
No, I don't care.
We know
but
everything.
when I'm in the ring that day getting ready to sound check, I'm leaning over the ring and I'm looking around, and I keep watching Logan switch chairs, and he's doing this like he's fucking fixing to paint something, and then he brings his dude over with the camera, right? And he's like, and they're looking at it, and they're looking, and I don't really get it. And then I didn't fully get what they were doing. So I just kind of keep going on about my business. I was like, this dude's obsessed with whatever's happening at this seat. And then in the middle of the match, I'm on the other side of where he was. And when he goes and climbs up on those ropes, I go, this fucking dude. This is why he's one of the best dudes. This is why he's one of the best content creators. He was looking at the shot. He was that particular about exactly where he wanted it to be. And I was like, and I love whenever people are great and you get to find out why. There's something special that happens when somebody's cool. Like, I hope I leave here today and you go, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I got it beforehand, and to be honest with
not that you didn't, but I'm saying like for me with you, like that was a moment when I was like, that dude is really thinking in the fucking future.
Can I blow your head up even more about that shot?
Yeah.
He was probably going to say this, maybe not. He was not only thinking of the future, he was also thinking of the past in that moment, because it's even deeper than what you're talking about. He wasn't only trying to create the next shot, but he was trying to create a continuation of a shot that it happened when? How long before that?
I'm not even sure what you're talking about, Mike.
Are you talking about the moonsault off the rope? You created that piece of content where you had the practice shot.
Is that what you're talking about? Then yeah.
Damn it, bro! You ruined my fucking fantastic story.
Hey, sorry.
So he had shot it in practice in Puerto Rico and combined it happening at SummerSlam with the practice shot.
When I'm telling you that he literally 2 or 3 different seats got in the back row, like he was
right.
And I didn't know why, because I hadn't seen him work out their shit yet. I missed all that. Him and Kells had just done it. So when I'm out watching the match in real time, I truly don't know what's happening. So I'm like a fan. They got me mic'd up and everything. And all I know is the one thing I know. You know what I mean? And I'm watching. When he goes up there, I was like, this motherfucker was staging his shot.
Sorry, you're totally right.
No, it's okay. You're tired.
First off, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're pretty specific about. Well, I don't have the energy to like dive into like the intricacies of content creation, but like I love what I do. I take it very seriously.
When you do have the time, call me.
Yeah.
Well, give me 15 minutes of some game.
This is what I did want to say to you. That is I think why I haven't really like tried to develop a camaraderie yet with you at these events, because like it's sort of like ritualistic for me, and I'm very new still, and so I really kind of just like it's hard for me to be like a cool, fun, friendly guy and also be like, shit, dude, 50,000 people are gonna watch me probably break my leg, but I hope not. And here's what I got to do to make sure I don't break my leg. And the headspace that I'm in at PL8,
you're locked
PLEs in. I'm locked in. I haven't yet gotten able to like balance it.
No, but you might not ever. I'm not doing flips in front of 50,000 people, but I'm doing 16,000 a night in an arena. And if you caught me on a show day and it wasn't in my dressing room in a moment I was sitting down, you would think I was fucking a lost puppy a little bit.
I mean, dude,
because I'm thinking about how do I not go out here and blow this? How do I not blow my voice? I'm very picky about how loud I'll get on show days. I understand all that.
I do. And it's funny because watching you in the rehearsals, we were sitting behind you, and it was the first time I'd seen you perform live. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. This motherfucker can fucking sing. That's like you put your soul into your music when you're singing. And I have to say, just
that's cool. That's when you got it.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Well, it's funny. The moments are super similar. And I'm telling you, like, bro, I was sitting 15 feet behind you, and I like felt it in my soul. I'm like, fuck, this song's a smash, and homeboy can sing. I got to get to know him one day. I just, whatever. I'm in the headspace, but I'm
glad it worked this way, though, man. It's the way I like to do it too.
Me too. It's a lot. There's a lot, dude. You have so much depth, and I appreciate that we've gotten a chance to unpack. I have to give a shout out to Kevin, my videographer. I can't do this shit without someone extremely good at their job. That young man right there in the light colored shirt is so fucking good at his job. And like, I'm not here on accident because I got lucky by myself. I have a team of really adept people who pay really close attention to what that lens is capturing. And that shot in particular was like a large part in his ability to like execute. Cause I need to trust that the person shooting that is going to get that shot. Cause like that could be my last jump for 4 months. If I pull my ACL, don't fuck it up. If I even get it right. And he did. And so,
because it's not,
you nailed it.
It's also not a job to him. That's why. Yeah. It's his life. Kevin fucking lives for this shit, bro. Yeah. It's hard to find people.
That's the first time he looked like y'all were praising him.
He deserves more praise.
That's probably the deepest.
Y'all were giving Kevin the nicest words, and he was sitting over there like this.
That's how I look too.
He finally cracked a smile at you. That's why he said the light colored shirt. I kept looking around like it can't be this.
No, I know. I was like, I know you don't know who I'm talking about. He's just sitting there. No, it's him, bro. It's him. He's a wizard. He's a wizard behind the lens.
I remember thinking, man, that is fucking. I've told that story about you to everybody I've talked to,
really?
Like, behind the scenes. You know how people talk.
Yeah.
And they was like, they were talking about wrestling. It's like, how was Logan Paul? I was like, dude, let me tell you about this guy.
Thank you, man.
You're sweet. You were always sweet to me anyways. But I was like, the man just knew what he was doing, man.
It's my most viewed video on Instagram ever. That particular video.
Fucking beautiful.
Sometimes you get that perfect video, and as like a person who's been doing this forever, dude, like I love that idea.
Did you feel it when you were flipping that it was nailed?
Yeah.
I know you probably talked about this a bunch, but
Yeah,
did you
I
feel
did.
it like in the middle of the air?
I knew it.
I love that feeling.
I knew it, and it was the best I had ever done it.
Oh,
in front of 50,000.
It was crazy.
oh, that's the best feeling.
You know, WWE is. I appreciate what you said about this showmanship, artistry of what you're witnessing, because like that's something that like to my core I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
It every single action has a meaning and is important to get right, and has a depth that I think like the average person doesn't understand. But once you're in the world and you like realize the stories that you're watching, I'm glued. Now I'm a fan.
Oh, the showmanship though, the athleticism.
Yeah.
And I getting to choke slam Austin Theory.
Oh my God, that was
thing
dude. That was
ever
sick.
happened in my career.
Dude, that was sick. You nailed it.
It was so good. It was literally.
I remember seeing that. I was like, whoa, yes. Yes.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm coming, man.
Let's
I'm coming
go.
over there,
Dude, you
I wanna
chokeslammed the
bad.
fuck out of him.
And I caught the bug in a way that I've never caught a bug.
Sick.
Yeah, I caught a bug so much I think I'm gonna buy a ring. It was awesome, dude. And to shoot on it for a second, because I haven't got to do this yet, and this is where I've been hoping I got to do it.
Let's go.
Austin Theory
Yeah.
is a superhero.
Yeah.
He is a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Is what he is. And I'm not in the business, so I don't gotta carry kayfabe. That dude made me look like a fucking rock star. I love that dude and will forever, because he told me that whole night, he was like, I got you, dog.
Yeah.
Trust me. And because I sat down with R-Truth and Miz earlier in the night, and I said, look, y'all, if we do this right, we should have a top 3 viral moment.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Roman's return, Logan's flip, our fucking 5-knuckle shuffle and choke slam.
Yep.
That should be the 3 moments.
Yep.
It was the 3 moments,
You were
by
right,
the way.
you were right,
It's
yeah.
dead on.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we pull this, and something you'll appreciate about this, and you can ask Miz, is I did the work too, though. I went back there and really got with Miz, and I spent some time back there. Like,
Hey, how great is Miz?
He's the best.
I love
He is
him.
the fucking dude.
I
He is
consider
the dude.
him
R-Truth too. Miz is probably like a mentor to you, huh?
Yes, he is.
Especially being an old
Very much
Cleveland
so.
dude. So good.
Sent me a
man.
gift from my baby girl. Like,
Just sweet dude.
he's
man.
awesome. I love him. And such a good coach.
Such
teacher.
a good coach,
Yep.
man. I felt like I was in the better hands in Allstate.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt so comfortable with them.
I feel bad every time they make me wrestle him that I just have to beat his ass.
Yeah, right.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
At least you didn't. At least you got to give a bump, bro, and you didn't have to fucking take one.
He got his ass
I
beat.
got kicked in the face, bro.
The Usos fucked
the
him up.
Usos,
You got to
bro.
give a bump.
Yeah, dude.
Hey,
You got to slam someone that got smoked,
Got
bro.
smoked. You should watch the Usos super kicking the fuck out of him.
Yeah, it was
that's
fun. It was
awesome.
crazy in Saudi Arabia, dude. Yo,
I love Jacob. I love Jacob, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Fatu.
I think Fatu is. I think he is he is the dude.
So look.
I love that dude as a dude, but I love him as a wrestler. I love his. I love everything about him.
Very clear rising star.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the only guys who really stands out to me, and I think everyone else sees it. And while I recognize his greatness, part of me also thinks he's on my list,
Yeah.
and I will be wrestling him in the near future, and we're gonna be going at it. So I sort of see him as
The speed,
competition.
The speed of that match is going to be crazy.
yeah, I can't
The
wait.
speed of
gonna-
y'all's. If y'all ever do end up in a situation, the speed of that.
Oh, I promise you, we're gonna go fucking crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but like, dude, it's inevitable. No,
I hope
you
so.
got
I'll
this,
tell you
like,
what, I'm
young
coming. If
rising
it
star.
ever happens, I'm coming.
It's gonna go.
That to me, that's the
crazy.
two up and comers, man. The 2 wild cards in the WWE. Though y'all two have the 2 storylines that I think could go anywhere.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it out.
Everybody else, you can kind of see a little bit of how
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah.
But y'all two are like, I could really kind of go wherever it wants to go.
I'm turning face.
Yeah. Fucking right.
They're like, so we actually can't even do that.
All right, Lo. Yo,
Well, hold on, I want to ask him, are you hungry? right now? Not at all.
What do you got? Food? You
Well,
me to
I
get a
want.
Lunchly?
Yeah,
I know,
so
I know
I
you're
just
a
put out.
partner in
I
Lunchly.
did. I just put out a new product. Actually, it's called Lunchly. It's better for you than Lunchables. It's
Are we
got
allowed to
400
say
million.
that?
Yeah.
I'm saying that like I'm in the company now. Here's the way I use the
Well,
word.
you are.
Are we allowed to say
You
that?
are.
with
Yeah,
our
we are.
product?
It's got 400 milligrams of electrolytes and 9 grams of protein per packet. Love for you. To
Hey,
give it a
I
shot.
just gave him equity.
Yep, I know.
Small amount, tiny amount, almost like an amount you wouldn't even like recognize as
Well,
real.
I didn't know that. Forget it. We'll skip McDonald's. Dude.
No. I'm gonna actually.
No, I do love the Lunchlys though.
I appreciate you, Jelly Roll. Look, I know you have a show tonight, which is fucking crazy that you even did this.
Yeah,
podcast.
dude. Thank you, baby. I'm excited.
I appreciate you coming on so much. Your vulnerability means so much to me, so much to Mike, and so much to our audience. And I know you were joking, but I can assure you that any Impulsive fans who didn't know who you were, that now know who you were, are going to be attending your shows and following your life and career, man, because you have made an impression on all of us in this room and everyone watching today. Thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate your time. Love you, man.
Jelly
Love
Roll,
you, Mike.
ladies and gentlemen. You have a new album.
Yes.
October
the 11th. It's called Beautifully Broken. It's out now or fixing to come out. Not sure where we're at in a month, but please, Beautifully Broken my album, y'all. Shameless plug. This is the biggest podcast on earth. Thank you.
Let's go.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Another shameless plug. Lunchley and Kroger's and Albertsons. Woo!